Do you dare to imagine a place where sunlight is just a distant, faint star? A forgotten world, stripped of its noble title, now drifting in eternal darkness at the final frontier of the solar system. A place so cold that even the air freezes and falls like snow. This is not the setting of a horror movie. This is Pluto, a name that evokes images of hell, of the god who rules the underworld. And the truth about it is even more terrifying than you can imagine. In today's video, we will not only learn about Pluto, we will embark on a journey there to face the bone-chilling cold, the endless darkness, and the chilling secrets hidden beneath kilometers of thick ice. Prepare yourself, because this will be an adventure to one of the harshest and most frightening places humanity has ever known. Before exploring its physical terrors, let's talk about its pain. For 76 years, Pluto was the ninth planet. An official and proud member of the solar system family, it was the ultimate destination, the mysterious frontier in our textbooks. But then, in 2006, the International Astronomical Union introduced a new definition of planet, and Pluto no longer met the criteria. It was demoted, labeled a dwarf planet, expelled from the prestigious club it once belonged to. This event was not just a scientific change. It cast a veil of tragedy and oblivion over Pluto. It became a symbol of the outcast, a small, lonely world unable to clear its own orbit. Pluto's terror begins with this sad story: a dethroned king, left to rule his icy kingdom alone. The 10-year journey to the frozen realm. To understand how terrifying Pluto is, look at the journey to get there. When NASA's New Horizons spacecraft was launched in 2006, it was the fastest man-made object ever to leave Earth. It sped off at over 58,000 km/h. Yet, at that incredible speed, it still took nearly a decade, exactly 9 years, 5 months, and 25 days, to cover the nearly 5 billion kilometers and reach Pluto. Try to imagine that distance. A journey so long that a generation could grow up during that time. It is so far away that the radio signals sent from New Horizons back to Earth, traveling at the speed of light, also take more than 4.5 hours to arrive. This absolute remoteness and isolation is the first horror that Pluto presents to us. It is not just far away, it exists on a completely different level of emptiness and distance. The deadly cold surface. Welcome to the surface of Pluto. And the first thing you feel, if you can survive, is the cold. An unimaginable cold. The temperature here is about minus 230 degrees Celsius. To help you visualize, the coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth is minus 89.2 degrees Celsius in Antarctica, and that place is considered a living hell. Pluto is 2.5 times colder than that. It is so cold that nitrogen, a gas that makes up 78% of our atmosphere, also freezes into huge ice blocks, forming glaciers and vast plains. If you set foot here without protective gear, you will not only freeze instantly, you will shatter like a piece of glass. This is a world where life as we know it has no chance of existing even for a second. Death is etched into every molecule of ice on the surface of this planet. Weak light from hell pepper. So what about the light? Standing on Pluto, you will never see a real daytime. The sun, our source of life, at this distance is just an extremely bright dot in the sky, 1,000 times smaller than what we see. Daylight at noon on Pluto is only as bright as a deep sunset on Earth, just a few minutes after the sun has set. Imagine having to live in a state of perpetual twilight, an endless dusk. This darkness is not just the absence of light. It is a psychological state. It evokes a feeling of ending, of decay. A world forever immersed in the weak light of hell, where shadows stretch endlessly over vast icy fields. It is a primal fear, the fear of darkness, amplified to the scale of an entire planet. The frozen heart knows how to beat. When New Horizons sent the first images, the whole world was stunned by a giant heart-shaped feature on the surface of Pluto, a symbol of love on a dead world. But the truth behind this heart is truly terrifying. This region, named Sputnik Planitia, is a massive basin filled with nitrogen, methane, and carbon monoxide ice. But this is not a static block of ice. Scientists believe that beneath the surface, faint heat from the planet's core creates convection currents, causing the nitrogen ice here to continuously rise and fall in a cycle lasting hundreds of thousands of years. In other words, this heart is beating, very, very slowly. A giant frozen heart circulating death on the surface. It is not a symbol of life, but a huge, cold geological machine operating in the dark, something alive in a way we cannot understand. Strange ice mountains and blue sky. If I told you that Pluto has mountains as high as 3,500 meters, comparable to the Rocky Mountains in North America, would you believe it? But these mountains are not made of rock. They are made of water, ice. At a temperature of minus 230 degrees Celsius, ice becomes as hard as granite. These giant ice mountains tower over plains of nitrogen ice, creating a majestic yet very alien landscape. And there is something even stranger. Pluto has an atmosphere, though very thin, and when the New Horizons spacecraft looked back toward the Sun, it captured a spectacular photo, a faint blue halo surrounding the planet. This blue color is created by complex tholene particles formed when ultraviolet rays from the Sun interact with methane gas. A blue sky on a hellish world. The combination of fragile beauty and deadly harshness makes Pluto even more terrifying. Charon, the silent companion. Pluto is not alone in the darkness. It has a giant companion, its largest moon, Charon. Charon is so large that it doesn't actually orbit Pluto. Instead, both orbit around a common point located outside of Pluto, like two dancers holding hands and spinning around. And the scary thing is, they are tidally locked to each other. This means Pluto and Charon always show the same face to each other. If you stand on the side of Pluto facing Charon, you will see a giant sphere hanging in the sky, never rising, never setting. It just stays there, forever, a silent giant eye watching you in the dark. If you are on the opposite side of Pluto, you will never know Charon exists. The feeling of being eternally watched on one side and absolute solitude on the other. Both are frightening prospects in their own way. An ocean hidden in darkness? And now, we come to the greatest mystery, and perhaps the most terrifying, of Pluto. Scientists have evidence suggesting that beneath the hundreds of kilometers thick icy crust, there may exist a liquid water ocean. Pause and think about that. An ocean, vast, submerged in absolute darkness, cold, and possibly existing for billions of years. The energy to keep it in liquid form could come from radioactive decay in the planet's rocky core. A global ocean, never seeing light, imprisoned beneath an icy prison. This is the perfect environment for nightmares. If life exists there, what kind of life would it be? Life that has evolved in darkness, pressure, and absolute isolation. The idea of a subsurface ocean on Pluto is one of the most fascinating and terrifying concepts in planetary science. A warning from the remote borderlands. Pluto is terrifying not because it has monsters. It is terrifying because it embodies the indifference and harshness of the universe. It is a reminder that the universe was not made for us. It is cold, dark, and mostly deadly. The existence of Pluto shows us how precious our home, Earth, is. The warmth of the sun, the atmosphere we breathe, liquid water on the surface, all are miracles, rare blessings in a universe that is largely hostile. The terror of Pluto is ultimately a gift. It teaches us humility. It forces us to confront our smallness and fragility. And it makes us appreciate even more the warm blue planet we call home. The journey to Pluto has ended. We have traveled to the edge of darkness and returned. We have seen a forgotten world, yet one that still holds astonishing secrets. The fear it evokes is also curiosity, the driving force that pushes us to continue exploring. Pluto may be cold, but its story has ignited the flame of discovery within us. It is no longer a distant blur, but a complex, tragic, and captivating world. Thank you for accompanying us on this chilling adventure. What about Pluto scares you the most, but also piques your curiosity? Please share in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the next space exploration journeys. Goodbye, and see you again.